All right, guys. You're welcome back to my class. Um, I'm going to show us how to cut as pattern drafting and how to cut a funnel of a bust corset. So let's go this way. This is my. You're going to get your underbust. I got my underbust. I got my bust point. I got my waistline. Then my full length, which is 24 inches. My under bust is 13 inches. My bust point is 9.5. The waistline 16 inches. 16 inches. Then the full length 24 inches. So now I'm also going to get my upper bust line. So I'm going to get my upper bust line. So what I have in between my bust point and under bust, I will just remove half inch, then I'll transfer it to the upper bust. So now I'm going to label it. I'm going to label it. So this is it. So now I'm going to go to my bust point. Then I'll get my bust span divided by 2. That is nipple divided by 2. Whatever I have there, I'm going to remove either half or 1 inch. Or in this case, I'm removing 1 inch. Then this down part, I'm going to make it 2 inches. I'm going to make it 2 inches. That is this down part. So I'm going to connect to the under bust line. Then from this under bust to the bust point, you're going to connect. It's going to have a curve around there. So I'm going to connect this way. So now I'm going to get my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus half. I'm going to add half of an inch there. So my armhole length 7 inches. You're going to connect. Again to connect. This is the armhole length. So now you're just going to curve. You're going to curve your armhole there. So this is your armhole. Definitely when you're curving your armhole, it's not going to be straight, so you just go in with about half of an inch there. So the neckline, let me just mark out a neckline. That's 3.5, 3.5 on both sides. 3.5 on both sides. So that's that about the neckline. So now in between this place, just divide it into 2. That's from that neckline to the shoulder. Whatever you have here, you're going to divide by 2. Then you just connect this way to get sure that. So this part, this is your underbust. Depending on how busty the person is, you can decide to use 2. You can use 2.5. You can use 3. So here I'm using 3 inches. Then I'm also going to use 3 inches. Then this down part you can actually usually use you can equally use 2 inches instead of 3 inches. Then you can still use the same 3 inches. 3 inches, 2 inches. Just like I said, that down part you can equally use 3 inches there. So now you're going to connect to the bust point this way. You're going to connect to the bust point. So now After that, you are going to go to your upper bust line, then you measure 1.2 on both sides. 1.2, 1.2. Funny enough, it can be 1.5, it can be 1.5 inch on both sides. The more you curve that side, the more it will lap well on your chest area. That's the bustier part. It will make the bustier part lap on your bust very well, especially around the upper bust area. So now we are going to take bust darts, just like I'm explaining. If you don't really want to make use of this bust dart, you can decide to just use 1.5 from this upper part we just marked. Now it's still going to serve the same purpose. The purpose of this side dart is for the bust to lap very well, to sit in very well. So now the neckline 7 inches. Neckline 7 inches. So you're just going to connect this way, depending on the shape, the kind of shape you want on the neckline. If you want it sharp, you can use a straight ruler to connect. So you're going to connect to the armhole. Look at the way I'm going to connect it to the armhole curve. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's that about the neckline. Just like I said, this side dart is when you fold it together. I'm going to open up the straight line so that when you fold together here, you can say when you fold that side dart, here will now go like this again. So that was why I said initially that if you don't want to use the side dart, you can just make that place 1.5. That is this upper bust area. Instead of that 1.2 measured, you can decide to make it 1.5. It will still serve the same purpose. So you're just going to take off the dart, something like this. So if you look at it, when I'm folding that dart, when I'm folding this dart, see that this upper board is opening a bit. You understand? So the wideness of that one will increase a bit. So this is it. The purpose is for it to lap. The purpose is for it to lap, especially on the armhole area. So now you take your bust measurement, take waist measurement, then the hip measurement. Here those measurements are going to be divided by 4 plus 2 inches. Plus 2 inches, so in allowance. So this space here, I'm going to add it back. Just in order not to, for some of us not to get confused, that's why I'm doing it this way. If not, preferably I prefer to cut it out first, then place on each other before I take my final measurement. I think it's more easier that way. So you do the same thing here, hip, then these 2 inches. You are going to add it back. So meanwhile, this allowance here, because it's a pattern, that's why I'm just adding this little allowance. If you're cutting yours, you can add about 3 inches sewing allowance there. Just add about 3 inches sewing allowance. You're going to add about 3 inches sewing allowance. You can have excess allowance, it doesn't mean. So here 2 inches. You place your tape there, mark 2 inches, then you curve. You're going to curve the down part, it's not going to be straight. So this is it. This is what the down part will look like. So now this side front, you are going to divide the waist. Place your tape and divide our waist. Whatever you have there, you mark into 2. So I have 4 inches, which is going to be 2. It's going to be 2 inches. So you're going to mark. You're going to mark it outro. You're going to mark it outro. You can mark it out through. I'm just stopping around this dart area, but you mark out too. So now I just mark out ½ inch from both sides to create another dart so that it will be able to snatch the waist. To snatch the waist, you can stop it around this side. But know that when you're opening, when you're cutting it, you're going to cut it all through to the armhole side. You're going to cut it all through to the armhole side. So that's that about the waist dart. So now the funnel, we are going to draft out the pattern of the funnel. So these boss points on this your boss line, just go down with about 1 inch. Then you're going to connect it to your armhole area. Just look at the way I'm going to place my ruler. I'm going to connect it to that armhole part. Understand? So, but the thing is, you are going to just come out a bit with about 1 inch, 1 inch after the armhole line. Just 1 inch after the armhole line, something like this, or probably ½ inch. Meanwhile, you can still make it equal with the armhole line. Nothing spoil. So I'm just dotting it so that you know that this is the funnel part. Just dotting it. So now we start cutting out. We're going to start cutting out. Just take your time and follow it. It's not something that is difficult. You don't have to allow too much measurement, unnecessary measurement, to get you confused. It's just like making a bustier cut, a shoulder dart bustier cut with side darting and just very little manipulation around there. So you don't have to allow too much measurement and too much calculation to get you confused, and too much grammar. So this is it. You can see the way it is. So this is the funnel part. Then after cutting out, I'm going to cut on another pattern so that you understand what we're doing. So this is it. We are also going to cut this place. We're going to cut them out. So now you are going to cut out this dart to make it 3 pieces, just like I said the other time. Now you are going to go straight. You are going to open it up straight to the armhole part. Yeah, something like this. So this is it. Now we have 3 pieces here. That is the center front, the middle front, and the left front. You can decide to just label it so that you won't get confused. Meanwhile, after cutting out like this, you're going to draft out the same pattern again. This is the middle, and this is the left. So you're going to just going to mark on your underboss. From your underboss, you're going to mark it so that you know where you connect. So you label it again. You label this front part again. If you check, you notice that I already marked the underboss. So this is it. So you're going to connect them together. We are going to cut off the up down part. There are 2 ways in which you can do it. You can decide to just leave, depending on the material you're using, you can decide to just leave it full like this. Then you sew the both of them together. Then you can still decide to just make use of the tube area, that is the cup area. Then you do away with the down part. You can just label it as the bustier part. This is the bustier part, the center and the side front. So we're done with this. You can just keep that aside. So now I am going to cut out the funnel part. You can see I'm going to take off this off part, this upper part. So this is it. This is it. So meanwhile, don't forget, when you're cutting on the fabric, you're going to add half of an inch round on the main fabric. So look at this. Look at this. So now you're going to take off this sharp edge. You're going to take off this sharp edge. Yeah, this is what it's going to look like. So when you're cutting on the fabric, you should know that you're going to pad very well. You're going to pad it very well. Do your bust caging and all that. So now cutting the back, no, this is not going to take much of our time. Just arrange your pattern like this. Just arrange it like this. Then you're going to trace out, just trace out this down part, then this other side, then also this dart area. Just trace out like that. So now this is it. Just trace out like this. You don't have to do too much calculation on that back. Just use your front to get it back. So the loop area, 4 inches at the upper part and 2 inches at the down part. Inches at the down part. So you're going to cut it off. You can decide to make it straight, maybe 4 up, 4 down. So now if you like, you can still decide to divide this, create another dart there to make it 3 pieces. Then you can decide to just leave it like this. You can decide to do another dart here, or maybe probably on this other side, but in this case we are just going to leave it like this. Then our pattern is ready. Just like I said, when you want to cut out on fabric, you are going to add half inches all round on the main fabric. Then you do the necessary. That's that. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to share and subscribe.